Some characters are born on the page, and they're supposed to stay there. But every now and then, something slips through the paper, a shape, a presence, a kind of darkness that doesn't belong to just one story or one time. Judge Holden, not just a character, but a principle, a shadow, an idea that learned how to walk. Today, we're not just following a figure in a novel. We're walking into the desert of Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian to listen to a thought that refuses to die. This is not a review. This is a confrontation. Judge Holden's appearance is like trying to describe an absence. A smooth, pale face, no hair, no clear expression. He doesn't look alive in the usual way. He looks like silence, given a body. Everyone who meets him feels the same thing. Holden doesn't just listen to you, he studies you. A perfect memory, an analytical mind, and behind it all, a brutal sense of certainty. One of the strangest things about Holden is his obsession with recording the world. He sketches plants. He notes down animals, tools, weapons, faces. It's not curiosity, it's control. He acts as if knowing something means owning it. Where there is no knowledge, there is not fear in his mind. There is disorder, and disorder is the one thing he will not accept. Because uncertainty gives people freedom. And in Holden's world, freedom is a mistake. On the other side of this stands the kid. He is almost the opposite of Holden. He has no clear goal, no grand plan, no fixed belief. What makes him dangerous is not that he loves violence, but that he slips into it without thinking very much at all. For Holden, the kid is like an experiment, raw material, someone who has walked through chaos and could be shaped into pure force. But as the boy slowly begins to sense where this road is really leading, Holden's quiet interest in him turns into something darker. The American Southwest in this story is basically a vacuum. Borders aren't clear. Authority is thin. The line between living and dying is only a few seconds wide. The Glanton gang moves through this vacuum like a ghost army. They appear, take what they want, and leave behind only smoke and ruin. Holden is not always the man in front, but inside the gang, he is a kind of silent compass. And that compass always points in the same direction, toward violence. For Holden, war is not just a human habit, it's a law of nature. Mountains rise, rivers carve their way through the earth, storms roll in, and in the same way, war appears. People say they want peace, but to Holden, peace is an illusion. Peace is the space where war pauses to catch its breath. Nothing more. That's why Holden doesn't really divide people into good and evil. He divides them into those who fight and those who don't. Those who don't fight don't speak the language of existence in his view. They fall outside the story that really matters. A man, Holden might say, only discovers who he is when he stands in front of the worst the world can offer. Pain, loss, death. These are not just tragedies for him, they are teachers, and anyone who refuses those teachers is, in Holden's eyes, an incomplete person. For Holden, knowledge is the second half of power. So he draws what he sees. He takes notes. He catalogs. Because anything he doesn't understand is a kind of freedom he can't control. And that kind of freedom is unacceptable to him. As time passes, the kid begins to change. He wants out of the chaos. He starts to look for some kind of meaning, some way to live without drowning in blood. To Holden, this is not growth, it's betrayal. Because if the world is truly ruled by war, then trying to live outside of that is just lying to yourself. So the kid slowly becomes, in Holden's mind, a disappointment, a failed project. Years pass, the boy becomes a man. He tries to leave his past behind. But the world Holden represents is not a place you can simply walk away from. One day, the man finds himself face to face with the shadow he thought he had escaped. In that moment, it becomes clear. Holden isn't looking for revenge. He's looking for completion. He wants to finish the idea he started with the kid. Because for Holden, a person is only complete when they accept his version of reality. Blood Meridian is not just a novel about violence. It reads more like a record of something dark in human nature. Holden leaves us with a question: who defines the real world? The answer is simple, and that's what makes it so disturbing. The real world is defined by those who understand war, not those who worship it, but those who can look straight at it without flinching. And that is why Holden's dance never really ends. Because war never really ends. As long as human beings exist, that dance continues. In the end, we're left with a single image: a figure in the desert, somewhere between night and dawn, a silhouette that never seems to tire. Judge Holden does not sleep, and he does not die.